All right, so it's been a couple of days since I first started this video and showing you guys my first time with trying to make clay, polymer clay jewelry. As a reminder, this is how my first trial went. I tried to make some terracotta colored jewelry using my cutters, and they ended up burning really bad because, of course, I didn't listen. There were a couple of things that I knew I probably should have done because I watched so many of these videos and, you know, have learned so many tips and tricks and still just did not listen and thought that I could just come in and do whatever I wanted, and I burned this clay pretty badly. So that's where we ended up with the first attempt. One pro though that I will say at least is that I did discover that you know, I could cook this clay in the toaster and it won't necessarily burn. I was actually really scared after the first attempt when it started smoking and I saw that it burned as badly as it did. It kind of made me want to like not even try again because I really don't want to burn down our house. But I am able to do this in a way that's safe because I didn't have any burning or any scorching with this one. But now, since the last attempt, I had gone to the store and I did pick up a couple of things that I honestly should have been using in the first place. And so hopefully this time we can actually bake it at the appropriate temperature for the appropriate amount of time and get a better clay. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about the fact that polymer clay is still bendy. Like I see people always talking about it cracking and stuff, and I always just assume that like once you bake it, it would just become hard and rigid. But no, look at this piece that I could literally completely bend it over and it still has not snapped. So that was something that I learned. When I did look up videos afterwards, people were saying that even when you do bake it correctly, depending on the thickness of the clay, it's still going to have some flexibility. So these are pretty thin. To me, I feel like this is a pretty good thickness. I don't think I would want to make them any thicker than this. However, just keep in mind that it probably is still going to have some kind of bend in it. But I did see that putting like resin or something like that on there can help to make these more rigid if you don't like the fact that they're bending. Another thing that I noticed was happening was that my clay was sticking to the cutters. I tried to use these tools as gently as I could to press it out of the cutter, but then it was just causing like bumps and dips and lumps and stuff like that on my clay. And so what people recommended you do is use cornstarch. I did also end up getting this X-Acto knife from Michael's just so that it could make it easier for me to cut the pieces away. And then the biggest, most important thing is to just get an oven thermometer. This was also, I got this from the grocery store. I'm hoping that this is going to help me to be able to put the toaster oven on the correct temperature so I don't have any burning, but it's also not under baking. So I think that this is going to be the one, guys. I really do. Okay, so another tip that I found was to use copy paper, you know, or printer paper on the bottom of your tray, because this is supposed to help keep the back of your clay pieces from getting like a shininess or sticking. People also recommend using tile. I actually wanted to go get tile, but I didn't have time to go to the like hardware store to go find a piece of tile, but I do have plenty of copy paper, so I decided I was just going to use that. And then another thing to help keep like the heat, you know, from, I don't know, spiking or whatever, or it's like to protect the clay so that it doesn't get like brown on top, because you don't want it to get discolored, is to take some foil paper and make like a little tent to go over the clay. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to go back to using the terracotta one so that we can more easily see the clay and whether or not there's like discoloration or burning or anything like that. So yeah, I think for the most part we got like the basics that we need. So let's get started. See, look at this. Oh, okay, I don't know if you guys can even see that, but you see that right there? I literally have this. It was closer to like the 250 before. And literally it just keeps climbing higher and higher and higher. This is why, oh my gosh. I know you guys can't even see this. And this is why the oven thermometer is important, because it's just spiking so high. I am just gonna I think turn it off to let it cool down. I literally like keep adjusting this, turning it down and down and down and down. Like right now it's literally like, I don't know, under the 200 Fahrenheit. So I don't really even know why it's spiking that high, but it is. So again, that's why having the oven thermometer really is important. So don't skip that. Just buy one. It only costs a couple dollars. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep cutting out my shapes. Oop. I'm gonna try the rainbow cutter today. Use a little cornstarch. Oops. I should get an apron. I should probably use an apron when I'm crafting. I don't know if you gotta like rub it on there or just dip it, but just put a little cornstarch on there and that'll keep it from sticking. Well, maybe I shouldn't press down too hard because the clay is not even that thick. It's still sticking. Shoot. See that? Now I got those little indents. Dang it. Maybe gotta really rub it in there good. I don't know. I don't want to get cornstarch all over my clay, but I guess I could just wipe it off. Yay! Okay, that worked. That worked. Alright, cool. I don't know if you noticed that I don't make a whole like big old batch of clay. People will say, you know, it's expensive. They don't have money and time to be just throwing away product because they're burning stuff. But like, you don't have to make a whole batch of stuff. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I literally would just make like 2 designs at the most and just practice. Just doing, you know, just a few pieces. You see how small that toaster oven is? It can't fit a bunch of stuff anyway. So literally just do a couple of pieces, test it out, and don't go doing a whole like big old tray of stuff just to end up burning all of it. That literally makes no sense. And then that way you don't have to worry about wasting up a whole bunch of your clay and other supplies. I'm gonna make my little tent now. I'm gonna assume that the shiny side should probably be on the outside, so it's like reflecting the heat maybe. I don't know, because the point is that we don't want like a ton of heat on our clay, right? I'm just gonna fold it a couple of times, make it a little thicker, make some legs so that it can hover over, because we want it to like sit in the oven over our clay like that, or like this. So the toaster oven has gone down. I had turned it off like I said earlier, and let me turn it back on. I'm just gonna turn this way down because I think it would be easier to start with a lower temperature and slowly increase it than to try to start at like a higher temperature and then have to decrease it. This is done. I'm just gonna take my new X-Acto knife that I got and cut this out. No! I just ripped out a little bit. Okay, maybe we can do a new one. Shoot. You know, I think you probably need to put the cornstarch on it like each time. Like you gotta dip it each time you cut it or something, because I don't know what's going on. This is not working for me. But that's okay. I'm just gonna use these two pieces. And next time, I probably should have like, I don't know, maybe went around with this X-Acto knife or something to make sure that this was cut through all the way before I start pulling it up. The only thing is I want to make sure that I don't cut my silicone mat. I think it might not have gone through all the way just because I didn't want to push the cutter down super hard and then like it end up sticking in there again. So yeah, I don't know, this is a lot of trial and error. This is a little more tricky than I thought it was gonna be, but that's okay. We're learning. Ah! Okay, I'm just over here just cutting it. This is a mess. Okay, anyway, scratch that. That's fine, not a problem. We're using these two pieces, and that's all that I'm gonna bake. And hopefully we'll get it right this time. Maybe I can make the bumps part of my design or something. Okay, so this is where we are right now. I've got the dial set pretty much at 250. And see, yeah, pretty much at 250. And you can see that the oven thermometer is like almost at 275. It's pretty much there. Yeah, it's like pretty much in between 250 and 300 right now. So yeah, you see what I'm talking about? That's why you cannot trust the you can't really trust the thing on here. It's at 275, so I'm gonna put it in now for 15 minutes and just keep monitoring it to make sure it doesn't burn. These on one side of the tray, put this over like this so I can still see. And then the oven thermometer, make sure you got some oven mitts. Do not, you know, end up burning yourself. But yeah, and then I'm just gonna put the oven thermometer back on one side so that I can continue to monitor that while it's inside of the oven for the 15 minutes. Yeah, it went down pretty low when I opened it up, but I think that's okay. Hopefully it should go back up to the proper temperature soon. I'm just gonna keep monitoring it. Okay, so they were in there for a while and the thermometer still hasn't reached the appropriate temperature, so I ended up just taking them out and I'm gonna let it get back up to 275 and then try to quickly put them in. Oh my gosh, camera, come on. And try to put down, oh my gosh, look at that. It went way back low again when I opened it just now to take them out. Yeah, I don't really know what to do about that. I didn't realize that opening and closing the door was going to cause the heat to change so dang much, but it does, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try to let it come back up to temperature and then try to put them back in again. Yay! Alright, so 15 minutes have started. I ended up ripping the paper so that I could just like throw it in there real quick without taking the tray out and all that, because it was just like opening it more than once to put it on the table and then put it back was just like too much. So yeah, I ripped the paper, threw it in there real quick, and then tossed the foil on top, and it's still at the correct temperature, so 15 minutes and then we'll be back. All right, so it's been 15 minutes. I'm gonna stop this. Oh man, this is a trip. Like, I did not realize how finicky these darn toaster ovens are. Literally, I spent the whole 15 minutes just staring at this thing, turning the dial up and down because it just kept on moving. Let's see how it turned out. All right, woo, well, they didn't burn. So at least there's that. They are a little bit dark. I know also the lighting's just not good in here. They are a little bit dark, but they didn't burn. They're not black, you know? I mean, for comparison, right? Like compared to like the first time, the third trial, I think is not that bad. So I'm going to let these cool. I hope they're cooked all the way because again, like I said, the temperature just kept going up and down so much that I honestly am not even sure at this point. But hopefully they're okay. I'm gonna let it cool and then we'll kind of inspect it a little bit and go from there. Okay, so we're back. It's been a couple hours and let's check on this. So earlier today, I made this terracotta colored rainbow earring, and this came out better than the first and second time. I think that it's pretty good. I honestly don't even know how to really tell whether or not this is baked all of the way. It is still bendy, as you can see. But again, like I said, I was watching YouTube videos and people said that this is normal. They said that because of how thin it is going to continue to be bendy. So maybe I'll try putting some resin on it another time and see if that helps. You can still see white stuff from the cornstarch. I don't know if maybe if I take like a baby wipe or something that might help get that off, but I hope that does come off. But yeah, I don't know, they are They are really bendy. I feel like this is crazy. So I'm just gonna try the resin and see how that goes. But that's gonna be a different day. I'm not giving up. I'm not gonna lie. The crafting can be quite frustrating. It's really not as easy as those people on YouTube make it seem like. It is quite hard. And I'm not giving up. I am gonna continue to try, and I'm also gonna continue exploring other mediums. But I think that's it for today. I'm gonna end the video here. We did 3 attempts at making some polymer clay jewelry. The first attempt was not so good, but I think we got better with the second and the third. So we're definitely getting somewhere. If you have any tips, any suggestions, something helpful that you can give me, please leave it in the comments, because I would obviously really appreciate it. There's just only so much, that you can find out from YouTube. I'm gonna continue to keep making these, and I'll let you know how they go. Maybe in another, like in the next video, I'll add some what do you call it, like I'll add some findings to the jewelry. I'll add the resin and see if that makes a difference. But for right now, that's it. So thank you everybody for watching my video. Please like it and also subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to try to continue to make these videos regularly as I document my journey and process through crafting and just discovering different mediums and seeing what it is that I like. I do hope to eventually become good enough at doing 1 or 2 of these things to maybe be able to sell them in the future. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good day, friends.